Following Queen Elizabeth II's death on September 8, more than 250,000 mourners queued for hours to pay their respects to the late monarch. Members of the public flocked from all over the country and beyond to see the Queen lying in state, with the queue reaching 10 miles over the 4 days. Those who were unable to attend need not fear, as they can now visit the Queen's final resting place in order to say a final farewell to Her Majesty. Place of Honour, Meghan and Harry's seating arrangement at funeral. A sign of favour. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were far from snubbed when it came to the seating arrangements for Queen Elizabeth II's funeral service at Westminster Abbey, according to a royal historian. Read more here. From Thursday, September 29, just 3 weeks after her death, members of the public will again be able to visit Windsor Castle and see the Queen's resting place. The castle in Berkshire is the world's oldest and largest occupied castle and is home to St George's Chapel. It is there that a smaller ceremony was held following Her Majesty's state funeral, and where the private committal service took place that evening, which was attended by the royal family. And there, within St George's Chapel, the late Queen was reunited with her beloved parents, King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, her sister, Princess Margaret, and her husband of more than 70 years, Prince Philip, buried alongside them in the King George VI Memorial. St George's Chapel, the poignancy of Queen's final resting place, and how you can visit. Members of the public will be able to pay their respects to Her Majesty. Image, Getty. The Queen visiting the chapel in 1962 along with her mother, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Image, Getty. Now, mourners will be able to pay their respects to Queen Elizabeth II by visiting her final resting place once the castle reopens following the royal family's further week of mourning. St George's Chapel, which holds 800 people, was a place of significance to the Queen. In 1962, the King George VI Memorial, part of the Greater Chapel, was commissioned by the Queen herself as a burial place for her father. King George VI died suddenly in his sleep while at Sandringham House in 1952 at the age of just 56. Like Prince Philip, he had been interred in the royal vault before being moved to the chapel. Read more. Prince Andrew lobbied hard against Charles being king, claims a map of royal burial sites. Image, Express. Both Prince Harry and Princess Eugenie tied the knot at St George's Chapel in 2018. Image, Getty/PA. Her Majesty visited St George's often, attending an annual service for Garter Day, which takes place in June, as well as services on Christmas Day and over the Easter period. The chapel has also been the place of many memorable moments, as some of the happiest and most tragic events were held there. The chapel has been the birthplace of some fruitful marriages, with 3 of the Queen's grandchildren tying the knot at St George's. In 2018, Prince Harry and the then Ms. Meghan Markle wed, with crowds gathering outside the castle. The night before the wedding, members of the public were greeted by the Duke of Sussex and his best man, William, now the Prince of Wales. Just a few months later that same year, Prince Andrew's daughter Princess Eugenie married Jack Brooksbank after dating for 7 years. 10 years earlier, another of the Queen's grandchildren wed there, with Princess Anne's son, Peter Phillips, marrying Autumn Kelly in 2008. Don't miss, Harry made hand-flick gesture at William during tense funeral moment. Insight: Dad of 10 crushed by 2 tube trains. Report: Boy, 15, dies after being held down and repeatedly stabbed. Latest: the Queen attending Easter services at St George's Chapel. Image, Getty. A now famous image of the Queen sat alone during Prince Philip's funeral at St George's Chapel. Image, Getty. Trending. While the chapel homed these joyous occasions, it has also been a palace of sorrow for the late Queen, as last year she attended the funeral of her beloved husband. Prince Philip's funeral was held at St George's Chapel, with the Queen's own funeral now taking place there a little over a year later. During the service, King Charles III sat in Her Majesty's Place, with it previously being her seat. It was from there that she watched Prince Philip's funeral and Prince Harry's wedding. The Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh, and her parents' resting place has now been marked with a new letter stone on which all of their names are engraved. The chapel was first built more than 500 years ago by King Edward IV in 1475. But it was only 50 years later that it was completed by Henry VIII. St. George's Chapel will reopen on Thursday, September 29. It is open on Monday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday each week.